adjust people as a chiropractor. I'm a mom who schedules and picks up, well, not picks up anymore, and now my kid has a license, but does the laundry, preps the food, does all of it, right? Plans the meals, plans the vacations, pays the mortgage, sends the messages, gets the mail to the post office. That's my mom hat. Nurtures, cares for, all of it. I serve as a friend, as a wife, as a coach, as the facilitator of the Staffless practice community. I do all of these things, and I'm constantly taking the time. And I know that you guys are too, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. We're constantly taking the time to get other people set up for success, constantly. This is so true that talking about it makes me want to cry. If I have a meeting with a client, or a practice member, it's so easy for me to list off how their life could be better if they implemented these support systems. But for me to take the time to plan for it for myself, my back has to be up against the wall. And I don't understand that. That's part of my experience as a human. It has to get bad before it gets good for whatever reason. And I feel like the older I get, and the more lessons learned and mistakes made, the faster it is that I turn around and pivot and say, no, this isn't me going down the right path. I need to prepare myself for success with this situation. The louder it is that I hear that voice, and the faster it is that I make a change. However, I will also say that when I was in my 20s, it just sounded like noise that I would react to over and over. When I was in my 30s, I started paying attention to the noise. When I was in my 40s, I started identifying this is what this noise is. And now that I'm in my 50s, I can do something about it really fast. I know what my solutions are. My solutions are different than your solutions. That's the thing. Like, there's no, you're hungry or you're hungry, angry, lonely, tired. They teach you that in 12-step programs, right? HALT. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, you're setting yourself up for a disaster, right? So I can look at all of the different, we talk about the different wheels. We have the life pie example, and we talk about the different wheels on the pie of physical, emotional, spiritual, career, relationships, family. You know what I'll do, you guys? I'll share with you the lesson that I have. It's called I Want to, So I Will. It's one of the lessons that's in the book, The Joy-Filled Practice Planner. And it's basically like, I want to do all of these things, and I want to do them all yesterday, right? As long as I have a plan in place, I'll get to it. But generally speaking, unless I'm feeling super impulsive, I don't get to it unless it's on the plan. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to do a bit of a dive on what creating that plan looks like. Physical, emotional, spiritual, career, relationships, family. So let's go through the wheel together, okay? If you're watching me on Facebook and you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. If you're in my Zoom, you're one of my clients, I promise you at the end of this training, I'll take all of your questions and we'll go live with it, okay? So physical, this is a big one for me because in my experience, if I'm not taking care of myself physically, I'm no good to anybody. I used to have a front desk person, her name was Therese, and she would say, Jody, if mom ain't happy, nobody happy, right? And she was like a New York mama. And that was what her message was to me over and over again. Because she would see that like exercise is part of my self-care. I now have these goals of 12,000 steps a day, 3 CrossFit workouts a week, 2 cardio workouts a week, run at least 8 miles a week. Those are my physical goals for movement. That's just for movement, guys. That doesn't include nutrition. So how do I make sure that I have the support that I need for that specific goal, so that by the time Friday afternoon hits, I have won. I have done all of that because there's trickle effect, guys. Like if I don't do those things, um, I'm maybe sailing at half mast at best. If I do those things, then I'm walking my talk and I feel good in all of my interactions. At least I feel as good can be in my interactions. So that's physical. The other physical piece for me is nutrition. I had a chat with one of my best friends last night, and she was talking about nutrition and how we're in our 50s and all of a sudden we've got this belly, like this donut that's formed, and how it could be a little thing like tweaking the gluten-free bread and taking it out of the picture. It's so good though, right? So how do I prepare myself? How do I set myself up for success with this thing? I actually, I shared a live last week about how I paid for this really ridiculously, stupidly expensive nutrition program. And I'm not going to say what the name of it is. And it was horrible. There was no accountability. It was all over the map. I was listening to people call me, I'm not going to go any further about the negativity around it. But what I learned is that there are a certain set of macros for my body where I'm at today in my cycle, in my life, in my menopausal process. If you're premenopausal and you're still having babies or you're running marathons or whatever your thing is, this is true for you. You just have to apply your thing. So what I did is I went to ChatGPT. This is so cool, you guys. And I typed in, I'm 52 years old. I do this many workouts a week. These are my nutrition goals or my body composition goals by this date, this time. Give me my set of macros. And it gave me the macros. And then I threw in, if I do a cheat meal once a week, what do my macros need to change to? What if I hit 14,000 steps instead of 12,000 steps? Guess how much that cost me, you guys? Zero. It cost me 20 minutes of playing with it. That's physical. Emotional, let's go there. The first thing I think when I say emotional is I need a good therapist. I think that all of us who have the service piece as part of our career, and if you're listening to this, that's probably you, we need somebody to listen to us. And whether that's a spiritual advisor or a minister or a priest or a therapist or whatever, whoever, a best friend, whoever it is, an accountability buddy, please set this up for yourself so that every week, every single week, even if it's your spouse or your partner or your roommate, you have an agreement with somebody that there's an energetic exchange. You listen, I talk, you talk, I listen, right? I pay you this money, you listen to me and help me process. I give you this thing, you listen to me and help me process. Verbally processing what's going on between our ears. It's one of the most important things for me. That's emotional. Another emotional thing is if you look back on the last week and you put yourself back in the situations that just sucked, how could you have preemptively planned to not have it suck so much? What needs to change for the next time that situation resurfaces? I know what my answer is. I'm clear as day on it. What's your answer, and what do you need to do right now to prepare for that? Physical, emotional, spiritual. Spiritual is the third part. Preparing for myself spiritually looks like me having a regular date with my yoga mat. Do I do it? No. Do I get on my yoga mat every day for 30 minutes? No. Do I know that it's there? Uh-huh. I have a mantra. I have my mantra pasted, taped up everywhere so that I'm walking to the fridge, I see my mantra. I'm opening the computer, I see my mantra. Do I always practice it? No. For me, my back has to be pushed up against the wall and then I'm going to go. I'm going to start. Spiritually, for me, I need to practice. Do I always engage in it? No. When I engage in it, I feel a whole lot different, right? I'm going to tie all of this together when I'm done going through the spokes. Like, how do you actually bring this to life? Physical, emotional, spiritual, career. This is a big one. I spent so many years in practice hating what I was doing because most of my job was managing people. And it's just not my jam. I had at one point cameras in my office because I knew people were stealing from me. I have been, metaphorically speaking, bitten where I give and I give and I give. And I have my own stuff around that. Like there's a reason I do that. And the return exchange is a bite. And I had gotten to a point where I was done with it. I didn't want it anymore. I didn't want to continue to deal with it. So I created a change. And the change for me, this is for the career spoke, is when I'm at my office, that's my time for quiet and getting in the rhythm of people's bodies and nerve systems. And any other rhythms need to be put to rest for that time. I made that decision to protect and honor and support my path as a chiropractor. Your path as a chiropractor or a PT or an ND or an optometrist, whatever your career is, it might look different. Support for you might look like you need to have Barb sitting at your front desk anytime you're seeing patients. My support picture in practice doesn't look like that. So what does your support picture look like? Does it look like having somebody there while you're treating? Does it look like having somebody there when you're done treating? They come in and you don't even know that they're there. Does it look like having somebody on call in Zoom with you while you're treating, taking notes for you? What is the problem that needs to be solved? And what is the support that you need to implement in order to get it solved? You guys, I'm going to hold on 1 second because I swear this is true. My doorbell just rang. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, short lived. They left the package at the door.
So what do you really think of Jody? Oh, hi, Jody.
Stop it right now. And I know who that is too.
Just teasing.
I'm muting you out. So what do you really, did you see her ass when she stood up? Here's my question to you. When you're at your office, what support do you need that you don't currently have? The support, the answer to that could possibly look like removing some things or some people. The support, the answer to that could look like adding some people. I say all the time out loud, wouldn't it be cool if? And whatever comes out of my mouth after I say that is usually the support that I need or the next thing that I'm dreaming up. So that's physical, emotional, spiritual, career, relationships. If you knew the irony of me doing this live today. Sometimes I really screw up. I have a big mouth and I have no filter. That's the truth about me. And I want more of everything yesterday. I was born 13 pounds with my thumb in my mouth and I haven't looked back, right? And I am not always easy. And I surround myself with people who are really stable, who do one thing at a time, who are implementers. I'm a visionary. My people are my implementers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you want to read the EOS, you want to read in the EOS system, you want to read the book Traction. If you're one of our clients, we're starting a book study on it and it starts next month. So please hit me if you want to learn more about what I'm talking about, really everything that I'm talking about right now. In relationship, I can be too much. That's my MO. I'm just a little too, is to take space and back the bus up, right? The hardest thing on the planet for me to do. I'm getting better at it though. What do you need in relationship for your relationships to serve you better, for you to serve more in your relationships. What's the missing piece? For me, it's to chill the F out. What is it for you? That's relationships, physical, emotional, spiritual, career, relationships, family. Family for me is like the same thing as relationships. I consider my team my family, which is irony. I spend all day with these people. There are 16 of us. Irony, right? And I would give my left arm for them, for all of them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on my team. How do I best serve them? I ask them questions like, that's a great question. What would you do in that situation? I ask questions. I I try really hard to lead by example with my relationships. I celebrate what I love about them and I highlight what challenges me in a kind, gentle way, usually in a shit sandwich. Usually in a sandwich that says something like, you're so lovely, X, Y, and Z didn't work for me, but I really love being around you, right? I'm learning how to be better at that. I suck at it. Physical, emotional, spiritual, career, relationships, family. And somewhere in the center of that is my relationship with God. Because God, my relationship with God, and this is for me, I have my own understanding of what that means, good orderly direction. It infiltrates everything that I just said. And if I'm disconnected in one of the things that I just said, my relationship quiets, it mutes. And as soon as I lean into being my true self, being of source, being connected, physical, emotional, spiritual, career, relationships, family, I feel super connected to the God of my understanding. Would you rather have a chiropractic adjustment by somebody who's super connected to the God of their understanding than somebody who's completely disconnected? I know what my answer is. Would you rather have a chiropractic adjustment by somebody who lives on sugar and caffeine and spends 10 hours a day on screens, or by somebody who really balances what they put in their body and what they put in front of them? I know what my answer is. What about a therapy appointment or a nutrition appointment or whatever it is, whatever your craft is, fill in the blank. So how do I hold myself to this? One of my biggest things is I have an accountability buddy. Her name is Leela. She's a naturopath in Arizona. I met her by accident. We became fast friends and we talk every Wednesday for, I think, 3 years now. Here's what I'm holding myself accountable for this week. Here's what's happening in my world. And then she shares. And we do that every week. We go for a walk together and it has been blissful. We have not missed a week. If we can't meet on Wednesday, we'll meet on Friday and I would bet my last chocolate bar that half of what I've created with Staffless would not have come to truth or come to surface if I didn't have those weekly meetings with Leela. Leela, if you're listening, I freaking love you. The other thing that I do that really helps me is I have a weekly checklist. And it's a living document. I have Monday through Friday what I have to do that day. Because I'll sit down at my desk, you guys, and this is my day, right? This is the day that I have to do. You can see that none of these things are checked off yet, right? And one of the things that I do on this list is I go back through my days of the week and I highlight the things that I have to carry over to the next day. It's kind of like the Franklin Covey system. One of my favorite things to do is to walk the aisles of Staples to find a better solution to this book. And quite frankly, I just haven't. What is this book? Um, it's called the Planning Calendar. It's at Staples. It's 1 page per day. I need the 1 page per day because I have really big hands. And if I try to write in a little book, it doesn't do it for me. I also really need the month view. And I do a lot of highlighting. I need the paper. Some people don't need the paper. If you grew up on paper, you probably need the paper. I also have a paper calendar for a quick glance, right? So I have this hanging, and if I talk to one of my team members and they're like, can we do that on the 14th instead of the 15th? I can very quickly look over and see what my overall plan for the month is. So that's how I keep myself organized. And if I was really good about it, I would take this and I would make Leela have me send her a picture of everything checked off every week, but I haven't done that. I've done that with the scale with Leela. Like I've asked her to hold me accountable for nutrition, depending on what diet of the week I'm on. The point is, you guys, is that like I tell you that I'm an expert mistake maker and solution creator. I really mean it. I'm constantly screwing this stuff up. But the solutions that I found are absolutely rock solid, right? I even created, it's over here. I even created a playbook. And the playbook is a day to day, week to week, month to month planner that I don't use. But I have it here. It's on Amazon. You can buy it. And it goes with the planner, right? It goes with the marketing plan book. I have tried and tried and tried to figure this out. Fall down, get back up. Fall down, get back up. Usually the things that stick, it's usually the first thing that I try. So I go back to you and I say to you, physical, emotional, spiritual, career, relationships, family, what needs to pivot? What, you guys, we probably have 90, 100 years on the planet. I'm 52. I probably got a good 40 years left, right? What do I need to change today to set the trajectory? How do I look back? Some of us live in the past, right? Some of us can look back at the past and say, man, I really screwed that up. Let me give you a for example. Um, let's say that I'm in a really hard business course and I'm at a training for a weekend and we are really having our brains stretch and I'm tired, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. I'm hungry, I'm angry, I'm lonely, I'm tired. And that's usually how I feel when I'm traveling. And I'm really being pushed to my edge. And I'm using a pen and a notebook, right? And I'm writing, let's say I'm writing in like a light purple pen. And I'm really focused and I'm really trying. And the instructor comes up behind me and says, you really should be writing in a pen that's darker than that. I would lose my shit in that moment because they broke my concentration. I probably would say something, could you step off, please? I would react because again, I have no filter. And then I would go back and I would look at like when I behave that way, I get this flash of heat. It's kind of like how you feel when you're embarrassed. I get a flash of heat. It's like a recognition where I'm like, Jody, you got to take back what you just said. I learned very early on in my sobriety path, I've been sober for 33 years. I learned very early on to do two really important things when it comes to all of this stuff. One, if somebody hurts me, say out loud, ouch, that hurt. If you hurt my feelings and I'm with you and you're important to me, that's important. I'm going to say out loud, ouch, that hurt. The second thing is if I hurt somebody and I know that my words or my actions were hurtful, as soon as I feel that flash of recognition, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, can I take that back? Can I have a redo? And it's up to them. This is the important part. It's up to them to accept it. They don't always accept it because I screw up all the time, as I just said. So how do we protect ourselves? How do we honor ourselves with support and self-care? What in our life, in the life pie, is not working for us right now? There's always going to be an answer to that. There will always, nobody has got this down, you guys. There's no such thing. The people who act like they have it all together, we all have broken pieces. As Janine Roth, I think that she got it from Martha Graham, I think her name is. The broken parts are where the light shines through. That concept is so important to me. My broken parts are where my greatness comes from. Your broken parts are where your greatness comes from. And to let that greatness shine through immediately, all of these things are important: the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, self-care, nutrition, self-care. Read, sit in quiet, turn the screens off, eat real food, move your body to the point of sweat 3 times a week at least. I love, I'm going to say one more thing and then I'll stop talking. I love um, the challenge. It's called the challenge of 100. For 100 days, this is a physical challenge. You do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and 100 sit-ups for 100 days straight. And if you drop, you have to start over again. 100 days, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups. It hits every muscle group. You do whatever variation of whatever that movement is that your body can handle, right? So for me, if it was the push-ups, I would be on my knees. If it's the squats for me, I would squat to a chair. If it was 100 if it was the sit-ups, that's like my jam. I would probably do a more extensive sit-up, a harder sit-up. So 100 days, 100 squats, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. That's the physical. That's taking care of part of the physical. And then the nutrition piece is one ingredient foods. It's not rocket science. Like, eat real food. I was thinking the other day, like, what do all religions have in common? Like, all major religions. What do all major diets have in common, right? All major diets that really work, one of the things they have in common is the more real food you eat, the better off you're going to be. So, food for thought, no pun intended. Okay, you guys, I'm going to stop the live stream. If you are watching us on Facebook or you're watching a replay of this, go make the world better with great care, and we'll talk to you next week.